The following is a presentation of WLCN 96.3 FM and WLCNonline.com. This live video stream is made possible in part by WLCN's live stream technology sponsor, Me Realty, located at 602 Keokuk Street in Lincoln, and online at merealty.com.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to Viewpoint on 96.3 FM this morning. Phone lines, if you want to call in, if you've got questions, concerns, kudos is for our two special guests today. The phone number is 217-648-5510. Today we have Father Joe and David Welch from Carroll Catholic School. And thank you so much for coming out this morning. Greatly appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you. Morning.
So I guess we should say happy anniversary is coming up for Carroll. So tell our folks, is it the anniversary of the school itself? Is it the starting of Carroll Catholic at all or not? So.
All right, now we're ready. Yeah, so this coming school year, 25-26, will be the start of our 65th year. When we get around in November of 2026, that'll be our 65th anniversary for Carroll Catholic School. Before that, you had St. Mary's School, St. Pat's School, and in the late 50s, they got together and decided to build a new school. So we're starting our 65th year this coming August.
That's wonderful.
It is.
That's great. Throughout the years, so we there at Carroll Catholic tell our listeners, is it just preschool? Is it K through 5th? Some of them don't know. What ages do we have at Carroll Catholic?
Right now we're from 3-year-olds on up to 8th grade. So we got a 3-year-old, 4-year-old pre-K, and then kindergarten to 8th.
Wonderful. Then how does the preschool program work? Let's kind of touch, based on that. Is it just mornings, or is it an all-day preschool, or what?
They are both all-day programs. When I came, it was just the 4-year-old program, and it wasn't all day every day, and it wasn't a preschool program at all for 3-year-olds. And over the years, we've expanded both those, so we're all day 8 to 3 for both 3-year-olds and 4-year-olds.
That's neat. That's wonderful. What's the class sizes average there at Carroll Catholic?
You're 10, 12 is a pretty standard average right now. Of course, we'd like to be, 15 to 18 in a classroom, but that's where we're at now.
So a few weeks ago, you had a meeting at the church, I guess what you want to call an informational meeting about where the school started, where it's at now, where it wants to go. What do you see for the future? What changes? I know it's a big question to encompass. Where do we need to be at Carroll Catholic in the next few years or several years to come to be sustainable? So.
Well, we're looking at it as kind of a multi-stage approach, and kind of in celebration of that 65th year coming up. thinking of how the attitude was in the 60s when they started and their vision for creating this school. We're kind of playing off of that and coming up with our vision for renewing the school and its mission. So you've certainly got the enrollment component. We want to build that to as much as it can be. With that, we're looking to revitalize our curriculum, at least for 5th through 8th grade. So that middle school curriculum, taking minutes that we have in the school day now that we can better utilize, and putting those essentially Monday through Thursday. So we'll do all of our classroom teaching that Monday through Thursday, and then we're looking at Friday being what we're going to call an academy day, where it's on a block schedule, so about an 80 or 90 minute period for those a day, and then we can do with those 5th through 8th graders a deeper dive into things that are more relevant to them maybe, or more hands-on, more interactive. So whether that's STEM or something entrepreneurial, it can be vocational, culinary, just a whole range of things we can do on that Friday. And I think, that would make us the only school around that I know of elementary-wise that would, offer something like that.
So it's almost like utilizing life skills and incorporating that into the curriculum then on Fridays then.
Right.
Stuff that we take for granted as adults. We used to have home ec in high school and business, writing a check and balancing your checkbook and, that sort of thing, just your basics. I think that's missing in high schools now. Do you agree? Do you agree with that, Father? What do you think? What do you see?
Sure. Yeah. I think I'm really excited about the idea of the Academy Day because we've got so many resources, members of our parish, who can contribute a lot to that as well. And I think there was genuinely a lot of excitement about the possibility of that, where we could. It could be something in the culinary area too. We've got people in the parish that are very excited about that aspect of things, and so I think that idea is been really intriguing for folks, in the parish. Allows them to take a little bit of extra ownership, perhaps even in the sense of being more hands-on in the school and having. Better optics too, and more people kind of looking around and seeing what's going on, and I think it's all very positive.
Kind of thinking outside the box, basically, and breaking up your monotony, if you want to say, about
right.
Monday through Friday, going to school, and the kids, maybe even more excited, to come to school and looking forward to that Friday.
Yeah,
so.
I think it is intriguing for them. I mean, they've begun asking me about it already, and I think anytime you can give them something to do that's beyond, like you said, the norm, then they're ready. I mean, this generation is highly creative. They're just intuitive with technology, and if you can turn them loose, but give them a focus, they can produce some really great things.
Could you also tap into being an entrepreneur and being a small business owner and starting them young, and say, for example, have them start up a little coffee shop or something to start a business? What does it take and entail to start a business? Have you thought about incorporating something like that there?
Yeah, absolutely. And that the Diocese of Peoria had been involved with us in discussions this past fall, and their development office had worked with us on an idea like that. And so that's certainly something that we're strongly considering. Because if it was, say, for instance, like a coffee business or coffee bean business, something like that, then you could approach it from so many angles. You could approach it certainly from the business side, but you could geography of where those coffee beans come from and the chemistry of what goes into roasting coffee and producing a cup of coffee. I mean, you could go at it from half a dozen different angles and work that into the curriculum, and it would all still be directed towards that business and give the kids the complete exposure of it, and then hopefully get them thinking along those lines for, down the road, something in the future for them, and hopefully some for the community.
That's wonderful. That's great. What other aspects, like you said, do you think, I know you mentioned culinary, what else were you guys possibly thinking or brainstorming, or kicked around ideas? If we have some listeners listening saying, well, I may be able to help with that. Have anybody else said anything to you, different ideas out there?
Art comes up a lot. The kids we don't have a formal art class as part of the regular curriculum, and I'm a semi-failed art major for a couple years of college, so I know where they're coming from, and so I see a lot of students throughout the day who have a lot of artistic ability, and right now we don't have a lot of ways to channel that for them, and so or they don't have ways to channel it at school. So if we could have that, as part of the formal Friday curriculum, I think they would be, really receptive to that. If they're really good, they can get better. If they're not so great, they can improve and get more exposure. So that's certainly something that I'd love to see happen.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
That's great. With that, we need teachers, and it seems like it's not just within Logan County, it's surrounding counties, it's surrounding states. Mm-hmm. Do you see a teacher shortage, within our community? Do you see that, or what do you see? Is it getting better? Is it getting worse, or is it about the same? What about for employment in general? What do you...
Yeah, it's certainly a challenge. It's been a challenge for even before COVID. So, it's 6-7 years that it's been challenging. And it's certainly one around here. It's honestly probably everywhere in the country. Mm-hmm. But, we're in that... the school is in that category of being rural and private, which sort of adds to that challenge, and with that obviously is going to go salary, and so last school year the state had mandated a minimum teacher salary, which I don't think is a bad thing at all. Teachers should get paid as well as they can be. Prior to that, and even with that mandate for a minimum salary for a first-year teacher, we were still competitive. We've had some local districts who've, rightfully so, responded to the teacher shortage by going above and beyond with state mandates.
What is the state mandate then?
Last school year, 23-24, they mandated that a new teacher had to be at $40,000 as a minimum. And then, with school districts being, the public ones being unionized for their teachers, then everybody on that scale is going to be increased as well. So, and that's what we're competing with. So that's just the minimum. If your area districts go above and beyond that, then we kind of have to respond in kind to retain the good teachers we have and to attract new ones in the future. Because
being a private school, you're not mandated to do that, but then again, like you said, to be competitive. Correct. Yeah,
so. It does not apply to us as a state law, but it does apply to us,
right,
employment-wise, right, and economically. Yes.
Rightfully so. So is that also too part of the campaign that we're seeing? The message that for the fundraising coming up for Carroll Catholic is that money will help offset those expenses there too, then?
Absolutely, yeah. So we've got a $1 million campaign over 5 years, and a large portion of that we're looking to raise would be directed towards salaries, not just teacher salaries, but staff salaries as well. And then a good amount of it directed towards the building itself, because at being over a building that's over 60 years in age is showing its age in some places, and so repairs are needed. Renovation, remodeling is needed as well.
Well, we're going to take a quick time out and pay some of our bills real quick. Thank you to our sponsors, and we'll be back in a couple of minutes.
Whether you're buying or selling your home, the brokers of Me Realty will work with you to get the deal done. As one of Central Illinois' top producing offices for decades, Me Realty has the experience to guide you through the process. You want results? Call the brokers of Me Realty at 217-735-5424, stop by the office at 602 Keokuk Street in Lincoln, or check out local listings online at merealty.com.
Culver's is a family restaurant. To me, that means being the place that puts a smile on everyone's face. We're famous for our cooked-to-order butter burgers and frozen custard made daily inside our restaurants. But we've always believed more menu options mean more ways to brighten your day. We source the finest chicken to bring you our tenders and chicken sandwiches. And our cheese curds. They're a Wisconsin tradition we're proud to share with you. So take the next meal shift off and let us take care of you. Welcome to Delicious.
Culver's, home of the Butterburger, 2530 Woodlawn Road in Lincoln. Full Gospel Evangelistic Center makes an impact locally and beyond through a wide range of events, ministries, and outreaches. Pastors Steve and Debbie Owens invite you to worship Sunday mornings at 10:30 and attend Wednesday night Bible studies at 6:30. Connect with FGEC online, follow them on Facebook, download their app, and visit their new website at myfgec.org with live YouTube video streams as well as recordings of services and special events. Full Gospel Evangelistic Center, 304 North McLean Street in Lincoln.
Hi, welcome back to Viewpoint on 96.3 FM WLC. And again, folks, if you have any questions, kudos, whatever, feel free to call in 217-648-5510. Before we took our commercial break, we were talking about teachers and shortages and salaries. And one of the things you did highlight on, what I like, and call me crazy, we're small school, Carroll Catholic is small school, and then it's rural in a sense. And to some people that may feel, hey, that's more safe to me, or maybe a better controlled environment. I mean, and I'm not speaking ill of larger school districts in larger cities, but so that may be appealing, to some of our listeners out there if they've got family or friends. But do you have to be a Catholic in order to be a teacher at Carroll Catholic? So let's at all or not? Or?
No, you do not. Certainly, we would like to hire as many Catholic teachers as we can, but no, it's you can be non-Catholic and teach at Carroll. We certainly have a good number of teachers now and in the past that have not been Catholic. We tend to want a Catholic teacher with religion class, but beyond that, no, it's certainly available to teachers who are not Catholic.
And then the student base at Carroll Catholic, is it mostly kids that are Catholic, or is it an even split that are not Catholic? What does that look like for student makeup there?
It's about 60-40, Catholic to non-Catholic percentage-wise, and that number is those percentages have held true for a number of years now. It would be hard to have an all-Catholic school and be in business these days. But I think that's, in a lot of ways, a testament to what the school is, that it can draw, from outside of the church, outside of the parish, and that others who aren't Catholic can still see the value and the welcoming aspect of the school.
And I believe we've had some students there that don't live in Logan County that do go to Carroll Catholic, correct? That have lived in McLean County or surrounding counties, correct? So you don't have to be within District 27, correct, to go to Carroll, correct then? Or?
That is right. Yeah, you're right. We've had them from Bloomington, as far as Bloomington, and towns closer, but yeah, outside of Lincoln, outside of the county.
Do you see the private schools in general dwindling or still being competitive nowadays or not? Or just in general? I'm not speaking of Carroll Catholic, but in general. What do you see, Father?
I see, certainly I see a great deal of growth throughout the diocese anyway. I know that a lot of schools are experiencing some growth in their enrollments. I know that where I came from, they've seen tremendous growth in their enrollment just in the last couple of years. So I think, families who desire a faith-based education for their kids certainly have plenty of opportunities available for them. Down here in Logan County, Carroll Catholic really is the only Catholic school around for a lot of folks to choose from. So I think that's always going to be important. It's always going to be needed to have an option for families who want a smaller environment, want a place where kids can feel safe and grow spiritually and also receive the strong stellar education that's been part of the Catholic Church's tradition for centuries. So I see it as being very vital and very important to our community to be able to offer that for our families and for our staff as well. So.
And then before we took commercial break, you mentioned the building is got some age, but it looks wonderful. But with that, maintenance, and I know we have a boiler system for heat there. So how's the campaign? Are they needing a new boiler soon or not? Or obviously, boiler's doing good, but we need to have something in savings in case of that rainy day, what happens? You want to touch light on some of the maintenance issues there at the school?
Certainly, yeah. No, fortunately, the boiler's in good shape, so that one I'm not worried about. I wish everything was as good as the boiler. It's relatively new, and there's been a number of things done over the past couple decades by the parish for the school. Relatively new roof, new windows, so some big structural things are in place, and they're fine. Plumbing, electrical, you're looking at, with plumbing, you're looking at a 60-year-old system, so it is leaks here and there, so that's something that is something regularly that we're focusing on. Electrical's fine, it's just what was put in 60 years ago and wasn't designed for the demands that a classroom has today as far as electronics go and technology goes. So, that's something we're always upgrading. But just, there's renovations we could do, whether it's, we painted the bathrooms last summer, things like that just are,
your basic maintenance items, it sounds like.
Yeah,
it's
maintenance and updating, yeah, for sure.
So, and been taken care of well, and been doing wonderful, it sounds like, too. But
right.
So for the campaign that's going on and the 5-year projection for the $1 million, what do you want the listeners to know? How do you foresee that coming? Please shed some light on that.
The way I look at it is I never am not mindful of what that sacrifice means, and what we're asking of people with that dollar amount, because that's a large dollar amount. It's certainly needed and certainly would be well used, but it's a large amount of money, and so I don't look at it as just an ongoing thing that we expect that money to just keep coming in. We have our part to do as well. So, the plan being that you have the money and you grow enrollment at the same time. So that's why we're looking at the curriculum enhancements that we are, and to grow that enrollment. And then as that grows, then your need for money from others should go down. And so as we go through the campaign, we're going to use it where we need to, whether it's salaries or structural, but then the idea of also putting away as much as we can, and being very frugal with it, and having a savings, and then working on the idea of, as the campaign winds down, switching to then setting up an endowment, looking at long-range planning, those things that can help to better ensure the school's financial future. And so, yes, we're looking at as wide a spread of generosity as we can get, because it's not just a school fundraiser. It's got to be much bigger than just that as far as its focus. And so it's beyond just the school, the parish. It's the community, it's alumni, it's bigger than just the local community. Even it needs to be as wide ranging as possible. So we're trying to structure it that way as well, and get as big a community involved as we can
to prepare for the future. Because the rumor mill, and you kind of got to chuckle at the rumor mill, Carroll Catholic is closing. It's like, no, Carroll Catholic is not closing. So what do you want to address and get that message out to the rumor mill and the naysayers?
I would agree with you completely. We are not closing. We've got long-range plans that we're putting into effect. We had that meeting at the end of February with the school and parish community, and I kind of started that meeting and stressed in that meeting that we owe those people from the late 50s, early 60s who sacrificed and raised the amount they did and built the school that they did. They were entrusting that to us, and so we're taking that faith in us very seriously. And
not to put you on the spot, but do you recall how much was it back then to start the school? Off the top of
their goal was $300,000 at the time. If you project that out, purchasing power today, that was a little more than $3 million. So, and they did that in a year. So they were focused and had hundreds of people involved in the school and parish with contacting others, raising a large amount of money in a short amount of time. So it's pretty impressive.
And that wasn't all just Catholics 60 years ago either.
Yeah, that's what I've heard even recently from people who aren't Catholic, talking about their parents giving to the school because they wanted to see it in Lincoln. So
that's wonderful.
Yeah.
What message do you want to get out to people listening, Father?
Well, I was really, when we had our meeting last month, we received a great deal of support from the diocese as well. Diocese of Peoria, the superintendent of schools came down, and through his support, he used to be a teacher, by the way, at Carroll Catholic. His very first assignment, Dr. Jerry Sanderson came down and through his full support for the appeal that we're doing right now and for the longevity of our school. I can tell you that our bishop has no desire whatsoever to close the school down, knowing full well that this is the one opportunity that our families have to receive this. And so, we have the backing of the diocese moving forward on this, and we've got a lot of wonderful things we want to do, and I think that, as I said before, the importance of being able to have a virtue-based education program in our area is very important, and I think that's especially necessary today. And so we're grateful for the ability to be able to continue to do that, and to be able to offer that option for families who are looking for more of a family atmosphere, and a faith-based one as well.
Lloyd, what questions do you have? Because you are an educator yourself.
Well, I was just thinking with the fundraising campaign we've been talking about, you've got several constituent groups you can draw from. Obviously, you've got the current families who are attending there. You've got the alumni and former faculty and so forth. I'm sure you probably have records, addresses, things like that where you can reach out to those folks. But what about the folks we've been talking about who maybe aren't Catholic or who are in Lincoln, Logan County, and in the area? How are you getting word out other than Viewpoint? Are you doing sending out letters, emails, advertising? Are there going to be different fundraising events that the school will be holding? How will those other people who maybe aren't within the sort of the Carroll Catholic circle, so to speak, how can they learn more and get involved?
Yeah, our Facebook page has information on it. Our website will very soon have its own tab, its own page on our school webpage, carrollcatholicschool.com, that will be devoted just to the campaign. So you can certainly go there as well, and then we'll link to all the information, online giving, those things. We'll be at Third Fridays uptown in on the square. The school is going to have a tent, a booth set up there for those Third Fridays, and so the information will be there as well as other info about the school.
Okay. That's it for me.
That's it for you.
No.
Well, any parting messages you want to tell our listeners before we wrap up the show at all, or not? Any closing remarks, I guess you could say. So,
Well, I would just want to thank everyone for the support we've already received. People have been extremely generous already in donations that have come in, so I want to thank all of them for believing and having a stake in the future of our school and our community. So again, this doesn't happen without the help of everyone in our community. So we've got, again, I think, really wonderful things planned for the future of our school. I'm looking forward to being able to even do more with them, and again to help kind of build our faith-based curriculum into the entire curriculum of what we do, not just the few moments we have in religion class a day, but to show our kids and our families how that bleeds into everything else that we do as far as how we form our kids, and want to thank our parents especially, for sacrifices they make to send their kids to Carroll, who have that desire for that faith-based education. They make a great deal of sacrifice to have their kids there, and it does not go unnoticed by us or appreciated. So
circling back, you're going to start letting folks know, the community know, that starting for the fall, the new curriculum that's coming out, correct? Then,
right.
And the changes there. Also, too, kind of want to add, how about asking Father Joe to teach the kids how to grill? Because he's pretty darn good at the grill.
Master. Yeah,
yes, he's a grill
right.
master. So, that's something they do. I mean, Father, you can
anytime
take the grill over and
Yeah, if the kids can eat, they'll help you out with whatever it is. Yeah, they will be an attentive audience.
right.
That's wonderful. So I guess we can say look for some positive, wonderful things and changes to come, and cutting edge things and thinking outside the box, it sounds like.
Yes,
Yeah.
I agree.
So,
yes.
wonderful.
You hit it on the head.
Well, folks, thank you for tuning in to Viewpoint on 96.3 FM. The Lord and weather willing, we'll be back next week.
This live video stream is made possible in part by WLCN's live stream technology sponsor, Me Realty, located at 602 Keokuk Street in Lincoln, and online at merealty.com. The preceding program is a presentation of WLCN 96.3 FM and WLCNonline.com.